Welcome to Fraud Friday. I'm Bob Coleman. Today we're talking about Kelly Johnson from Coleman, Culman, not Coleman, Alabama. She was with First Community Bank. She was the Vice President, Chief Operating Officer, Chief Information Security Officer, and Bank Secrecy Act Officer. 25-year career. One of the things I've said in terms of red flags, surprisingly, that fraud will happen with a long-term employees such as this, who has worked their way up through the system and learned how to manipulate the system. And this is a sad case. Over this 10-year period, she embezzled over $2.3 million, and that is going to earn her 5 years in a federal low security women's federal prison. To understand the mechanics of the fraud, every bank has a checking account with the Federal Reserve Bank, and that's how they use to move money through their system. The Federal Reserve Bank is a clearinghouse. They process all the information, and ACHs and everything goes through them. So that is a very important account that needs to be carefully monitored. Well, the bank president got a call from the Fed, say, hey, your bank's overdrawn. Your account's overdrawn. What's going on? And the president says, well, what are you talking about? I'm looking at the numbers. I have $2.3 million in the bank. And the Fed says, no, you don't. They have a little meeting, and Ms. Johnson of Coleman, Alabama, said that, yeah, over a 10-year period from 2013 to 2023, she withdrew 273 times. So if my math's right, that's 27 times a year, twice a month. And she would withdraw money. And again, what was used for covering personal expenses, predominantly credit card bills. And so that $2.3 million would be $230,000 a year additional income. I don't know what she made, but that was significantly enhanced her lifestyle. What she did, she had access to all the records, and she falsified the transactions. She went into the bank's accounting system and made it look as though nothing was wrong. And for this fraud to go on for over 10 years, I mean, that's a failure of the system, both at the Fed level, certainly at the bank level, and of the regulator level, the accountant level. Let's see, I don't think we have to say alleged, because she did plead guilty to the $2.3 million fraud. So there are obviously all these failures for it to go on a decade. And again, how this happens, it starts slowly. She got away with it once, covered her tracks twice. 10 years later, she kept it going. And what's unusual about this fraud is the length of time. Usually what happens, someone gets greedy and they start spiraling out of control by taking more and more money. But here it looks like she was able to, she knew she was doing. She manipulated the system very well. And then she deleted the evidence. She deleted the records of the unauthorized ACH transactions and falsified statements. Quote, Johnson's uniquely powerful role let her oversee both the execution and reconciliation of transactions. Blatant red flag, dual control. You can't have the same person doing it. Whether you're the CFO of a small or even large company, and we see this with bookkeepers who fraudulent, you need to have someone who's doing the transactions, but you need to have someone else who's overlooking the shoulder. Say, hey, what's really going on? Because she controlled the flow of critical information, ledgers, transaction logs, and statements, there was no independent check in place to detect the fraud early. The scheme unraveled finally when the Federal Reserve contacted the bank president, alerting him that the bank's ACH account was overdrawn, a red flag that could not be ignored. In response, Johnson produced a fraudulent statement showing a positive balance, buying herself a momentary delay, and momentary underline that and highlight that. But the damage was done. Internal review and subsequent forensic scrutiny uncovered the fraud. Well, I don't know how much forensic scrutiny you need to do. we're supposed to have $2.3 million. It's not in the, it's not at the Fed. Real quick, it's not going to take too much of a rocket science to figure out that money's missing and where it went to. And with the as the fraud was uncovered, she confessed under quote mounting evidence. She pled guilty. Court documents confirmed her 25-year tenure with the bank, and as she was sentenced to 60 months in prison. Sad case, another person who gave up a career, her earning powers. Let's see if she had a 25-year career. Let's assume that she started in her early 20s, which would put her mid 40s. She had a good another 20 years of very good earning potential, especially in that type of position for the bank. And she threw it all away. Sad case. Thank you for joining today's issue of Fraud Friday.